Fenrir was born from hatred, forged by his father for great evil doings on a scale the world had never before seen. Silenced and neglected, Loki left Fenrir alone in his cradle, in hopes that the solitude alone would breed a monster fit to devour the god Odin. Fenrir, however, had other ideas. The young wolf took to the world of man, but soon came to discover that they feared him. And so alone once more, Fenrir wept. He longed for companionship, an ally to guide him away from the dark path his father insisted upon him. Fenrir wept and he wept. His pained howls ravaged the world until a portion split away and drifted away on his sea of tears. This new land became known as Ulfrheim, or Wolfholm in the native tongue of the brave men who inhabited it still. They embraced the weeping wolf child and offered him their wisdom and knowledge, taught him kindness, peace, and love. In return for their guidance, Fenrir shed the teeth he had been bestowed to devour Odin, and from them grew his children, the Felvarg, massive direwolves with the tongue of man and the ferocity of a scorned god. The Felvarg followed Fenrir's path of peace and companionship, and in return for their assistance, the people worshipped them like gods. The god Loki, angered over his failed son and his creations, despised them with every essence of his being. Loki whispered forth to the Viking lord Skoll about the true nature of Fenrir, and consequently the hidden danger lurking within the Felvarg, and once more hatred entered the peaceful life of Fenrir and his children. Skoll rallied his most faithful berserkers and captured Hakon, Fenrir's favorite and wisest son. Hakon preached peace and did his best to reason with Skoll. Skoll would have none of it, and in a fit of rage orchestrated by Loki himself, murdered Hakon in cold blood at the shrine of Ragnarok, the birthplace and shrine of all Felvarg. Distraught over the loss of his favorite son, Fenrir bit Skoll and his cold blood became poisoned by the furious father of Felvarg, and from his misguided anger spread a blood plague that would wipe out all of mankind. Loki reveled in his victory, while Fenrir mourned for his child, and the fury bred within the Felvarg became evident. A great war raged between man and Felvarg for many a year. The unquestionable peace that had once grasped the land long since shattered by the cruel manipulation of Loki. The blood plague born into Skoll spread across the land, claiming the lives of all men in its wake. In their fear and anger, man rebelled against the Felvarg, and named them the harbingers of death, blamed them for the uncurable sickness that claimed their lives, and responded by slaughtering the Felvarg. Both races dwindled until both teetering on the edge of extinction. Two entire species annihilated by the jealousy of Loki. Fenrir sought comfort from the goddess Freya, who sympathized with the father's loss and shared with him a gift to last the ages. My sweet king, look at me. When I look into your eyes, Fenrir, I see kindness. I feel love. To his final 3 children, Freya bestowed her protection and took to the earth to defend young Felvarg. 2 brothers and a young female, all orphans to the misguided war. The final battle took place where it first started, where Skoll took his stand as the last man on Ulfheim. Skoll raised his sword without mercy, his anger clouding his judgment as the 3 pups wailed in his shadow. But as Skoll swung his sword, it was Freya who felt the blow. The goddess had sworn her life to protect Fenrir's last children, and the strength of her love for Fenrir proved too much for Skoll, as he fell to his knees and wept beside the dying goddess. "Forgive me," he wept as he held her pale hand in his own, tainted by the blood of countless slain Felvarg. As he wept and wept at her side, the last 3 children of Fenrir took pity on Skoll and comforted him in his time of great sadness. It was this act of selflessness that removed the shroud of deception from Skoll's eyes, and all too late he realized the error of his and all others' ways. Fenrir hung over Freya's lifeless body as anger and pain rushed through his veins. His entire body tense as his legs grew weak, and he fell to the floor beside the white-haired goddess. A dreadful howl left the grieving wolf, a song even more sad than the one that had brought his children into existence. And what happened next was truly remarkable. Fenrir's soul split in two right before Skull's eyes, and half lay to rest over the lifeless body of the woman. Fenrir appeared pained as he scrambled to his feet, his body trembling as he turned one last time to his children and whispered, "This is the last time you shall see me, my loves. But fear not, for you will never know the meaning of loneliness." And with that, Fenrir leapt into the stars with a flash of light so bright that Skull had to shield his eyes. And when he opened them, in the place of the goddess lay a beautiful white Felvarg.